Messiah 1, 1-5. The first account I made, O Theophilus, of all that Yeshua began to do and to teach, until the day when he was taken up, after having given instructions through the Spirit of truth to the emissaries who he had chosen, to whom he also presented himself alive after his suffering by many infallible proofs, being seen by them for 40 days, speaking concerning the reign of Yahweh. And meeting with them, he commanded them not to leave Jerusalem, but to wait for the promise of the Father, which you have heard from me. Because Yohanan truly immersed in water, but you shall be immersed in the Spirit of truth not many days from now.
The festival of Shabbat is a command from Yahweh that was written by Yahweh on the tablets on Mount Sinai during the festival of Shabbat. The Spirit of truth came down on the emissaries of Yeshua, and they began to speak in tongues. The festival of Shabbat is a law forever to all the children of Yahweh who have chosen to live in obedience during the festival of Shabbat. The Spirit of truth came down on the emissaries of Yeshua, and they began to speak in tongues. On the festival of Shabbat, a sound came from the heavens as of a rushing mighty wind. On the house emissaries were gathered during the festival of Shabbat. The Spirit of truth came down on the emissaries of Yeshua, and they began to speak in tongues, divided tongues as of fire, settled on each one of them. They began to speak in tongues as the Spirit led them to speak. During the festival of Shabbat, the Spirit of truth came down on the emissaries of Yeshua, and they began to speak in tongues. The festival of Shabbat is a law forever to all the children of Yahweh who have chosen to live in obedience during the festival of Shabbat. The Spirit of truth came down on the emissaries of Yeshua, and they began to speak in tongues. During the festival of Shabbat, the Spirit of truth came down on the emissaries of Yeshua, and they began to speak in tongues.
The festival of Shabbat is a law forever to all the children of Yahweh who have chosen to live in obedience. Hallelujah. Messiah 2, 1-4. And when the day of the festival of Shabbat had come, they were all with one mind in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from the heavens as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared to them divided tongues as of fire, and settled on each one of them. And they were all filled with the Spirit of truth, and began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them to speak. Hallelujah!